shortage of dishes in Istanbul.
Traditional sweet.
This wins the award for the most colorful sweet in Istanbul.
It's fruto, kiwi, lemon, strawberry, banana, mango.
It kind of looks like a soft, gooey, taffy paste. I know that sounds weird. It's like a mix of starch and sugar and lemon juice, and they usually add an extra fresh squeeze of lemon at the end. So basically, it's gooey sugar on a stick, but we both really loved it.
So refreshing, sweet, a little sour from the lemon. It's actually delicious.
Simit is like a Turkish bagel. It's one of the most commonly found street foods in Istanbul because you can find simit trolleys literally everywhere. They're encrusted with as many sesame seeds as possible. It's most commonly eaten for breakfast, but we were eating them at any time of day as a quick snack. Crunchy on the outside, soft on the inside, this food is the real symbol for lower and middle class people in Turkey.
This with coffee will be great.
Now moving on from the simple simit to the most opulent Turkish breakfast available. When in Istanbul, you've got to have a Turkish breakfast extravaganza with eggs or menemen, cured meats, honey butter, Nutella, jams, tomato dip, fresh cheeses, olives, cucumbers, different types of bread and pastries.
Dude, this is a donut, like a little flattened out donut, and I just put the butter honey mixture on it. Amazing.
You'll definitely have more food than you'll need, but you will feel like a king.
So I know they said this was for like 2 people, but quite honestly, this is really for a family of 4.
On that same note, another breakfast dish that is very popular in Istanbul is menemen. We ate this a few times. It's a mixture of eggs, tomato, green bell peppers, and loads of spices, all cooked in tons of olive oil. It's a very hearty way to start the day.
Wow.
Yay!
More menemen for us.
More menemen.
Thank you.
Teşekkürler.
Thank you so much.
Alright, this next one's a bit out there, and for the bolder people. This dish consists of lamb intestines wrapped around seasoned innards. I'm talking sweetbreads, hearts, lungs, kidneys. I find that most countries have their version of this. This is pretty popular here. I liked it, while Olivia, on the other hand...
All right, Olivia's gonna go for it.
A lot of it, I think, it freaks me out a little bit.
From a look standpoint, you're like, you don't really know what you're looking at, okay? Let's be honest. It's a bunch of tomatoes, herbs, meats, but flavor-wise, it's 100% intestinal type foods. So there's a little bit of that background flavor that if people aren't used to it, they will not like it. Kastane are Turkish chestnuts. These are one of my favorite street snacks, especially on a chillier day. There's nothing added to them. They're simply roasted and delicious and cheap, and you gotta try it.
Very good, nice. Kestane. Very nice.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, pop one open.
Oh, listen to that sound. That's why I eat them. Ooh.
Ooh.
God damn. They're so tasty. This is like, whenever I go, oh my god.
Maybe.
No, like the roasted flavor with them.
Kunefe is a popular dessert of the Middle East. It's texturally incredible because it's made with this like spin pastry called katafe that's soaked in this very sweet sugar-based syrup, and it can be made with cheese or clotted cream, and they can add pistachios or other nuts to it.
It's like the second most popular dessert in Turkey. What's the first? Baklava, of course.
Oh, I love
It's made from like thin layers of noodles on the outside layer, and inside there's like unsalted cheese. And the fire right now is helping the cheese to melt. After it's done burning, they will pour some syrup on top and pour pistachios.
Midye dolma are these stuffed orange mussels that contain herbed or spiced rice. This guy actually served each one to me, which was quite strange but cool, and I had a choice between 3 varieties. You can get them hot or cold, spicy or classic. They're very plump and meaty. I definitely recommend them if you like seafood, and this company can be found all over the city and is reliable. because you don't want to get any of that food poisoning, you know what I'm saying?
So, a funny thing about this is I was walking by the Galata Tower the other day and I saw this like chocolate cheesecake looking thing. Turns out it's like this big Instagram craze, like it's super viral that people are trying this. I don't care about the Instagram thing, that just looks good to me, so I had to order one, just out of curiosity. I saw somebody doing this the other day, and I'm doing it just to see if it actually does that. Ready? I'm gonna drag my spoon down, ready?
Oh my god.
This is not rich. This is low calorie.
We don't have calorie.
Jesus Christ. One thing I'm really happy with is I didn't want it to taste like Nutella. Because I'm like, dude, I didn't come here to have Nutella put on a cheesecake. It's its own chocolate thing. It tastes like it's homemade. I see why it's a thing.
Oh my gosh, they're serving the sandwich.
Yes, that's where the sandwich is from.
Where the sandwich is, with the rock and bone.
We're avoiding that for sure.
Okay, so this one's a bit controversial as most foreigners that try it don't like it. I have to confess, we didn't try it ourselves, we chickened out. It's a fish sandwich made with mackerel, which I know can be quite fishy, and it comes with onions and lettuce. They're mostly famous because they get served in these rocking boats right next to the Galata Bridge. Really cool to watch them at work. Maybe next time for us. Rakı is the national drink of Turkey. It's a clear brandy made of distilled grapes and flavored with anise, which is that licorice flavor. They typically bring you the bottle with a small bucket of ice and a bottle of water. Most people dilute it with a bit of water, which changes it from clear to cloudy. Yeah, you can absolutely get hammered if you drink too much of this, but it pairs really well with most meals. Easy, smooth. We'll see in 20 minutes. Manta is a type of Turkish dumpling, finished with a yogurt garlic sauce and some sliced butter and chili flakes. It's very tasty and you can find them all around town.
We're gonna be eating two popular Turkish dishes. One is manta, which is basically their mini, almost like ravioli or pasta. They're usually filled with cheese, potato, meat, all kinds of things. And we're gonna be trying gözleme, which is essentially reminds me of like their quesadilla.
Woo! Oh, hello! Yeah, yellow on yellow. Yeah.
Yes. I'm psyched. This looks fantastic. Ooh, it's hot.
Is it like a little ravioli or a little dumpling?
Dumpling, so soft and bouncy and spongy.
Peynir, cheese peynir, Turkish. Peynir. Peynirli gözleme.
Gözleme. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Come on. This guy's a rock star, man. You can't blame me for calling it a quesadilla, okay? It's got the quesadilla vibe. The texture of whatever flatbread type thing they're using is amazing. It's actually, I prefer it over a quesadilla. And they don't overly cheese it up, so it's not so heavy. It's like delicate.
Along with Turkish dumplings, you can also find Anatolian and Circassian dumplings in Istanbul, which are very different from the manta we just tried, larger in size, but also fire.
So good.
Really? Dumplings.
These are on every corner and are, of course, the most iconic sweet in Istanbul. You can go to Hafiz Mustafa, which is one of the most touristy spots. It's still great quality, but expect to pay more for it. Or you can find more local spots like this one.
He told us this is the best baklava in Istanbul. Can you back that up?
That's also his cousin. From a presentation standpoint, this is beautiful.
Right in the middle, do you see the white part? This is another, like, the flavor, clotted cream, like a butter. Ooh. The one that I choose for you today, it's known by the local like Şöbiyet. It doesn't mean anything. Just they give like a different name.
I was gonna say this is Şöbiyet.
Because it's delicious, and they added like the clotted cream in it that you can feel the butter taste.
On a textural level, it's like the best marshmallow treat I've ever had. It's like a Turkish Rice Krispie, and the inside's like very like marshmallow chewy and nice, but then the outside has this like beautiful crunch, and obviously you got the pistachios kind of sprinkled throughout it.
It is outstanding.
Çiğ köfte.
Çiğ köfte.
Yeah, çiğ means raw.
Çiğ köfte.
Yeah, and köfte means meatball.
Çiğ köfte was traditionally made with raw beef, kind of like a Turkish-style steak tartare. The beef had to be high quality and low in fat. Nowadays, because of stricter regulations, it's only made with bulgur wheat in Istanbul. One of my least favorite things I tried, but still glad I tried it.
Limona. Okay.
We've all seen it online, the Turkish ice cream vendors pranking the customers and tourists. Yes, it's a touristy thing to do, but you gotta do it. And surprisingly, the ice cream was pretty good. The ice cream has a more taffy-like texture and resists to melting. It's sweet, creamy, stretchy, and chewy, and that's because they add a starchy root of purple orchids called salep.
He got you, dude.
Lokmas are fried sweet dough balls soaked and drenched in syrup. They're a very popular street food here in Istanbul, soft on the inside with a chewy and lightly crispy exterior.
They look golden, crispy, delicious.
Verdict?
Holy sugar.
If you want to be drowned in free samples, just walk around the bazaars. Of course, they have an angle with these free samples, and that's to make you feel guilty to buy something. It's called reciprocal altruism, and these guys are pros. That being said, a lot of what they're offering is super high quality. I didn't say it was fairly priced though. That's up to you and your haggling skills.
Oh, so good.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Olivia, share this.
But, oh!
You can have some.
Kebab in Turkish means roasted, and we made sure to have lots of kebab, especially shish kebab, which are chunks of lamb roasted on a skewer. When in Turkey, you gotta eat lots of lamb. That's why we came to Turkey, to eat that kind of stuff. Speaking of delicious meat, we also ate lots of döner, which means rotating roast, and dürüm, which is a Turkish wrap. I'd say we had at least one every other day. Buriyan is one of the best lambs we had, along with these lamb chops. Here our guide describes it a lot better than I would.
It's called buriyan, and it's a special food from the town Siirt. It's a city in Turkey. It's made from lamb. In the kitchen they have this well, it's like 3 meters deep, and at the bottom there will be fire, and they lower the lamb into the well and close the top with mud, and it stays like that for 3 hours.
I just had my first bite of lamb, and I just gotta say, this lamb's insane. The fat on it is just like, oh my god. I'll eat this every day here. While in Turkey, you've got to try Turkish coffee. Although it's not for everyone, it's fun to watch them make it and packs a punch. Do make sure to not stir your Turkish coffee or get greedy and try to drink it all the way to the end. Lesson learned. But another thing I really loved about Istanbul was how many specialty coffee shops there were all around the city. The coffee scene in Istanbul is second to none. And if you're not a coffee drinker, they drink a ton of tea here as well, which they call chai. Not to be confused with chai tea that we're used to in the West, this is just regular black tea, but for some reason it tastes better than any black tea I've ever had. There's no shortage of great coffee shops here in Istanbul. I'm blown away by just how many you come across just like wandering the street. You'll just find this like little door that takes you through this like alleyway or up some stairs, and they're serving like incredible espresso, incredible coffee. Coffee's no joke out here. I had to stop for another coffee at this place called Bond. Really good coffee in Ortaköy. Recommend it. Another great place to grab a healthy drink around the city is at a fresh fruit juice stall. Find them in every neighborhood for your vitamin C fix.
Multivitamin.
Multipass.
Yes, multi.
Very good, very good.
This next one's a very popular and unique drink that I ended up liking more than I thought I would. It's basically
Water and salt.
and pairs really well to balance out a hearty meat dish. Turşu is another street drink that is good for you and tastes good if you're into pickled stuff.
Cabbage, pickles, I think there could be carrots as well. This is a fermented drink. This is not pomegranate juice. It looks like a fruit drink so much. I see everybody walking around, I'm like, ooh, that sounds so good. This is a salty one.
Germans got sauerkraut, Koreans got kimchi, Turkish people got turşu. Moving away from the healthy stuff, we do recommend trying all the sweet and savory pastries because there are a ton of them and you can find them even at just a regular grocery store.
All right, we've got a chocolate hazelnut pastry over here, topped with nice little crumbles of hazelnut. And then over here we've got like an apple pie, kind of mini apple pie with walnuts in it.
Some more staples in Istanbul are what many foreigners categorize as Turkish pizza. Lahmacun is pizza shaped with a thinner crust, while pide is boat shaped with a slightly thicker crust. Lahmacun is topped with minced meat and vegetables, while pide toppings are more elaborate, using things like feta cheese or spinach. Both are great and can be found throughout the city. Definitely look up reviews though to find the best places, because they're not all good. Another quirky food that's become popular in Istanbul are their loaded up potatoes called kumpir. I'm not a huge fan, but they're a really affordable and filling meal for travelers on a budget. And saving the best for last, in number 30, we've got our favorite restaurant and food experience in all of Istanbul, Pera Antakya. The food at this place is so beautifully done. The flavors, the presentation, the customer service. As a whole, I just felt like if I could only recommend one restaurant to someone visiting Istanbul, this would be it. If you have any questions, the people at this restaurant will completely guide you through it. And if you want to try a lot of things in one sitting to get a really good understanding of Turkish food as a whole, this place can definitely make it happen.